Right, I've done a bit of a sketch. Sketched it in, some bushes and that, bit of a river and that, lake, stream, wherever it is. Then what I did, I wetted all my paper through, and I just got some blue, started at top, and then went down with my blue, and as I come down, my blue got thinner and thinner as it mixed in with water, and then I did the same. I dipped back into my brush, come across there, and my blue got thinner and thinner as it went back there. Okay, and that's all I'd done. Then I just let it dry. Thought, you've seen me do that loads of times before, so thought I'd do that, save you having to watch me do something like simple like that and then dry it before. Probably watch me before, so you've seen me do that. Some of my coffee. Right, so now I think actually what I'm going to do now, I've battered end of my brush up, so end of my brush is all battered and spiky. If you've got a height brush, dry it, batter on the end up so it's all spiky, and then dip it in, and that's what I'm looking for. That look like that, so that's that. There, dee. Not so much back there, it's a bit tamer back there. I'll go through here, through all this. You know what, I'll do all this with that. Right, I've got some grasses there. I wonder if I can. Oh, that's nice. Grab some of them grasses like that, look. There. Nice. Some grasses down here and all. Just really long grasses on this one for some reason. That I may as well fill that area in now. This one more grassiest, so I'll just do more grassy strokes on that. Same there, I'll fill some of them bits in. A bit more grassy strokes. I think that's it for now. I'll build that up, but that's it for now. Right, so that's that done. Tell you what, I'm just thinking. Right, let me mix up a nice pale colour for these background trees. Right, really pale colour I'm thinking. It's going to be a mucky colour, but a pale colour. Do some separate space for mixing. Let's mix a dead thin thing up in a little palette. Right, I'm going to mix up quite a thin paint now. So I've got some yellow and blue, mix up a green, and then I've added some Payne's grey to it. I think that's looking about right, actually. It's looking pretty good. So this sort of comes wherever you want it, really. I'm going to start mine about there, but you can have this wherever you want it. Bring it down, like I say, wherever you want. Down into here, and then back up here. Then I think I'll come up there like that. Like that. Then I think what I'm going to do, borrow some of that paint there, bring it round. I think what I'll do is dry this, then whack another layer on. That way I can control what I'm doing a bit better. That's looking quite nice. Yeah, quite like that. I think what I'm going to do, get a little brush with the end bashed up, dip into there, and just grab this edge here, just around there and there with that brush. That's it. And you know what? I might as well grab that edge and all. Get rid of them little well, they'd end up cauliflowers, them little bubbles of paint. I'll come into the, I don't need to do this bit, there's some darker stuff coming in front of this, but I'll do it anyway. Why not? Leave a few of them little white things in. That'll look good as it builds up. And because I'm building it up in layers with the edge of my brush like that, hopefully when the finished thing's done, it is going to look like little distant pine trees miles away, hopefully. It's not quite dry, I don't think it'll matter. It might even make a sort of splodgy effect and look even better. I don't know, it's pretty dry. I've got it pretty dry to be fair. So, right. I think I'll mix a bit more of this paint up, a tiny bit more. That's better. There. Right, and I think this time I'll start in here, I think. Oh, grab them drips. All them drips I can use. Grab them and move them round. I'm bringing them right down this bottom bit. Most of this bottom bit's going to be covered, but not on this side. This side here, the whole lot's important. Right down here, this will be covered, so this bit isn't so important. I think what I'm going to do is another dry. Just keep building it up. I'm getting quite a good little look out of that. I'm quite liking it. Just looking like a, sorry, it's just looking like a grey colour, but believe it or not, there is some green in there. Just hold my brush it back and just. That's it. Let's get this top layer built up. Dip into some of them bits there to get them blobs of paint, and then use that paint up here. And these, like I say, that side's all important. This top bit, quite important. But then this bottom bit's going to be covered. Anyway, right, I think, let me dry that again. I think I'm going to add, I've run out of paint, so I'm going to mix some more. I think I'm going to add a tiny bit of green in next time. A bit of green in. There's already green in it, but I'm going to add a tiny bit more. Just take my shots. I'm getting that excited. I'm getting a sweat on. That's better. That's how much I'm enjoying this then. Right, let's mix a bit more green this time. Slight bit more green into that same colour. See what this looks like. Start down here, then I can test it, can't I? Oh, that's better. It's just tiny. Well, not better. It'll just blend with what's already on better, rather than doing exactly the same. I tried it down there first because I knew this bit was going to be covered, you see. Good way of checking it. That's a handy little tip for you. If you know you're covering something up, you're not sure, you can try that bit fast, innit? are. That's looking pretty cool, I think. Right, what have we got? Just down here. Get all these bits in, like I say, right. This bit, this side's important. Very important. Yes. Ah, there. That's that side looking good. It's got to look far away. I'm thinking, for some reason, that side's a bit more faded. I don't know if there's a bit of mist going in that side or something. That side's more faded, so I think I'm going to dry it and then put a little bit more, one more layer just on this side. I'll nick some of these bits of paint here, what's damp, and pop it back in here. There, build that bit up a bit more. Paint on my brush. I've added a slight hint of a slightly darker colour in there. And I think gradually fade that out as it comes across. That's what it seems to do. Right, I think that's about done. So that's my distant trees done. I'm happy at that. So I just built that up in slight layers at a time, and look how interesting it is because I've done it like that. Oh, sometimes I won't say genius, but sometimes I'm on borderline. It's like working with my brain. It's like working with a genius's brain. Let me get that dry. I'll tell you about a genius in a minute. I've got a story about one. This bloke who's a genius, right, his name is Leonardo DiCaprio, right, and everybody thinks, right, that NASA invented an helicopter, right, but they didn't. This bloke, Leonardo DiCaprio, back in the 1830s, he invented it. I'm just mixing colour while I'm telling you this. I'm mixing a nice green up. He invented it, right? And he did all the sketchings and drawings for it. He didn't actually make it, but he did all the sketchings and drawings and that for it. And so, like, theoretically, it's sort of like the maths side on it proved it would work. But I don't think they did that back then, that technology to actually build it. But he invented it, and it did more or less, when it finally got made years later, it obviously did fly. So he invented it. It was a divvy. It was just a normal divvy. And then what happened? An apple landed on his head, and it gave him some concussion. And then after that, he got dead clever, and he invented gravity. But up until that apple landed on his head, it was just div. Anyway, let's get back to this. Bit of interest in that while they want it. Let's get some of this stuff in. Right, so I'm just popping in there, just building up my next layer now. So I'm using some nice light colours. Let's have another tree about there. Something like that. Build some of these up. I think that one a bit build some of these trees up a bit, and then they gradually get a bit smaller as they work their way down here. That's it, something like this. There, something like that. This is just my first layer. I'll be building this up a lot more yet. And that sort of blends into there. So that's that layer. What I think I'm going to do is it gets dark down in this bottom bit, so I'm going to use a dark paint. All this bottom bit here is really dark, so I'm going to use a dark paint and just get that contrast between that dark and light with this spiky brush. Like I say, get your height brush. I'm using loads of different brushes so I don't have to keep dipping in my water, but if you get your height brush, dry it, bash all the end up, just bash it on a tea towel or something to bash all the end up, and you can do this with your height brush. I've just got a load of brushes on and so I've got to keep washing them and then re-dipping them and that, just to help me go faster. And in fact that's nowhere near dark enough, but I'll end up popping another layer on this. I'll end up building this one up in layers as well. So if I just take that up there, build a layer in there. There, that's looking quite nice to me. A couple of layers. There. Oh yeah, that's nice. So that's my lightest layer on there. My light's coming in that way. Nice, right. I think what I've done now, build another dark layer into that, so I'll just mix some dark colour up. Yellow and blue for my green. Put some Payne's grey in there. I've actually. Oh, that's dark, really dark. I put some some Payne's grey in and really darkened it. So that'll give me a dead good contrast for this. Between light and dark here. It's really dark on this bottom bit. If I work quite fast, I'll be able to work into this before it dries. So your trick here is to try and work quite fast, and you'll end up with a better picture. I'll bring some bits up there like that. And that'll do. Right. Just stick that to one side. Right, I'm gonna I've already got a bit up to one side, a slightly lighter green than that, but not loads lighter. Right, now my light's coming in from this way, so I'm going to put my dark side onto these now. I'll nick some of this colour from down here, bring it up, and just get onto these edges here. So I'm just popping in just my dark bits down one side, and like I say, I can borrow loads of this paint from down here and use it. That can be used. So you can hopefully see that the light's coming in from that other side. There we are. It's kind of a lighter green, just to blend this all in. That's it. That'll just hopefully show that my light's coming in that way. And that'll That's just a fast, loose way of getting these trees in. Get some tips in if you want. Something like that. There, to me that's enough to just show. Let's get a little bit of light colour and just blend a few little bits in with that as well. That's it. Just looking slightly boring in some of these areas around here, I'm thinking. So if I stick some light bits in as well and blend around, that'll help it. There, I think that's good enough at that. That's just showing that there's some pine trees in there and that they're a light colour. Right, now then, sip of coffee. I think now I'll go down to this little brush, I think now, and let's get a sort of medium green colour. So, like I say, blue and yellow to mix the green up. I've just used some of that really dark, horrible colour there. Just gone into yellow. It's given me just like a really grubby, mucky colour. But I think it's going to look alright with time. Let's water it down a bit. Water it down a bit. There, let's try this. So that's a bush there. I'm bringing out these bush shapes. That's grasses there. There's some grasses there. So I'm negative painting my grasses of them bits. Same with these bushes. I'm negative painting them in. Oh, see that? Shapes of my bushes are going in with a negative painting. There. What's that? This here, look. Bottom of this is all grasses. So I'm negative painting it in. There my grasses there. In fact, let's get a few. There's some there like that one. Let's stick a few. There. Right. This here. Get some of that in. To build these layers up. There. Right. I need to now. Let's get. Oh, I tell you what, that one comes in there like that with those things. Some more grasses down there. Get some of these grasses in. Right, let's mix now an even lighter green. That's better. And then I can blend that into everything. There. That can blend up into these grasses, look. Don't forget, I've negative painted the grasses. So they're the grasses going up. Not these dark bits, if you know what I'm on about. That's that. There's some grasses in there. They don't. Oh, there is. I was going to say there don't seem to be much mud, but there is a bit. Let's get some grasses in there like that. There we are. Lovely jubbly. This right up to the edges. That colour. Lovely jubbly. These grasses. Same mixture of all these colours, look. There. That's looking good. Some of that dark colour again in these bottom bits. Seems to be more like that rather than a mud bank, so I'll just stick it in like that. That looks better. A little bit in there. There, a little bit. No, that just seems to come through and out. That's it. That's it. That's not looking bad, that. Right. I need now reflections. So, sip of coffee. There's a lot of white ripples on my water on this side, and then the reflections seem to be on the other side. So what I think I'll do, I'll wet my brush, so I've got a chiselled edge, and I'm going to wet it, and I'm going to come across with my chiselled edge into that other side, like that. I hope this works. So this will hopefully give me my little bobs and bits, right. Fucking everything everywhere. We're nearly done now, nearly done. We want to be because I'm getting into taking up a lot of your time now. Right, let's get some of this lighter colour in first. Like that. Just coming across and it's hitting into that water and doing that. There. That looks nice now, I'm happy at that. I like that. I might wet the tip of that brush and just try and help that along a bit. Actually no, that's just splodging it everywhere. Right, so let's go into darker colour now then. All this in here is dark. This bit here. Really, really dark. That's giving me my little waterline in there. There, I'm thinking something like that, and then I want to dip that brush in water and soften that into the colour. Hopefully it's not all going to just drip everywhere. Why don't I tonic that way? There, that should do it. There, that bit at the back seems to be the darkest bit. Well, that wants to be the lightest bit, so I'm going to dab that. That's better, and then that'll give it a bit of depth. There, I think if I dry that at that should look pretty good. I'm encouraging that drip look. I'm encouraging that drip to come out a bit. Push it back now. I'll get a dab. There, that's nice. There we are. Lovely. There. I'm quite happy with that. I quite like that. Right. All I need now is, it's quite obvious, Peter and Paul. Let's have Peter and Paul up this side because it's slightly lighter, so they'll show up more. So there's Peter, there's Paul. Couple of mods flying around there. Right. Pop it in here. No, pop it here. B, Bertie D. There we are. Jobs are good, and I'll see you on beach. In it.